Hello, Michael here again. Working on some tutorials at the moment, which are going to take a little longer than expected, so I thought I would upload a real quick tip to tile over until I'm finished with those. Last time I uploaded a video was the aaOcean shader tutorial, and I'm actually using that aaOcean displacement map in that render that you see in the thumbnail for the sand, and I just wanted to quickly run you guys through how you might want to approach that and some tips on rendering the sand to get it to look a little bit more like sand. So like I said, there's going to be a quick tip, so I'm going to run you through it real quickly, and hopefully you can use this to come up with ideas of your own for different types of ground, like dirt or whatever else, rocks possibly, or something completely different. You could even use this for something like silk or something like that. So we're going to do an aaOcean shader displacement on this land mass here I've already created. My scene is very simple. I've just got my dude from the last tutorial that you've already seen. I've got a light up here. It's set to 8 and it's just pure white. And I've got a bookmark already saved for that camera view, and that's got smoothing on as well. It would look like that otherwise. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to connect a diffuse shader to it, which is that. We're going to call this sand1 so it's easy to find. We're going to change the front color. I've already picked the sand color that I like, but if you're looking for it, it's in a roundabout orange and just between where orange is hitting red, and then it's fairly desaturated in that, so it's roughly that. I might give it a touch more saturation, somewhere about there. And yeah, and then I'm going to apply that. There it is. So I'm going to connect that to that, assign it, and then I'm going to just quickly render that so you know what it looks like before I put the displacement on. Okay, so as you can see, not the worst. It doesn't really look like sand unless you're looking to do something very stylized, but that's why we're going to add the displacement to it. So let's select that. You'll know how to do this if you watch the aaOcean shader tutorial, so I'm just going to run through it very quickly. Okay, so I've plugged in all my settings for that displacement, and let's just do a quick render so we know what it looks like at the base values. So as you can see, it's probably a little bit reflective for sand. Sand is fairly highly reflective because essentially it is, it turns into glass if you superheat it. So we're going to pull some of that specularity out, increase the diffuse, and then I'm going to show you a couple other tips. Yeah, so as you can see, boosting the diffuse up to, I think it was up at 0.8, makes that look a whole lot better quite quickly. You could almost just go all the way to 1.0, so it's got basically no specularity, and it doesn't look too bad. You're just getting that hot highlight from the light source, which is just above the guy there. So I mean, that's pretty close to looking like sand. If you just want to get it done, like there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. Depending on your scene setup and the style that you're going for. There is one other thing that you can do that is kind of cool with the diffuse roughness. If you plug in a fractal node, so that's just under patterns, and then it's under Pixar fractal. And expand that. So what you do is you plug the result F into the roughness, and so this is going to control the specularity essentially. And then there's a couple of settings that you can quickly change here, starting with erosion. If you boost that up to, say, I think I had it at 10, we'll increase that frequency to 10 also, and have a look. Alright, so you see it's getting like a bit of texture to the surface, if you compare the two. Essentially what that fractal node does is it's just plugging in a progressive map into the surface. So this can be useful for doing a whole bunch of things, not just sand texture obviously, but it could actually also be used to create like rust on a metal surface or something like that. So you can play around with the settings a little to get something that kind of looks like the noise that you would see from the varying specularity in sand. I'll show you that now. Okay, so comparing it to the one without the fractal plugged in, that's it without the fractal, and that is it with it. So you can see you're getting some surface texture and noise in there, which is what you want. It's also increasing because of the specularity increasing. Overall, you are getting a hotter highlight, but you can obviously control that with your scene highlights as well, scene lights rather as well. So that's pretty much it. So just quickly, the settings for my fractal with that last render is the frequency is set to 50. Sorry, I just changed that there for a second. The linearity is 2.0. That's just talking about the gap between each part of the pattern. Essentially, it was what that word means. It's usually something you use when you're describing fractals. Dimension 1.0, that's the dimensions of the map, I believe. Erosion 10, so how much erosion you'll see. If you increase it, you'll see more, obviously. And variation, I've just set to 1.0, so all the little bits are quite varied. So that's basically a percentage slider, so 0 to 1.0. And yeah, so that's pretty much it though. So I hope you enjoyed that quick little tutorial on how to do these do the sand. I plan to do a couple more of these quick tips in the future. They're just good to upload between videos, and hopefully you'll pick up some things that you didn't know while you're doing it. If there's anything very specific that you've seen in any of the tutorials in one of my renders or any of my pieces on my Tumblr or my Instagram or my website, and you're like, oh, how do you do that? And it's a little bit specific, I can easily do a quick one of these tutorials. Otherwise, look out for my more longer form ones. Up next, we're going to be looking at clouds, and I'm going to be doing one on particles. So, and they sort of are related. So yeah, hopefully you liked this one. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Click like if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already. And check out the rest of my videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and happy rendering.